I love this headline for an article today. The top guy cry movies include Gladiator, Armageddon, Furious 7, that one in particular because that's the one where Paul Walker, of course, passed right before it was finished, Shawshank Redemption, and Field of Dreams, like the top 5 movies. With that, is there a movie that you watch every time where you're like, man, I can't keep it together? Guys, obviously, welcome to call, but if there's just, we can open this up for everybody. If there's a particular movie that you watch, you're like, what is wrong with me? I can't make it through this movie every time. What is it for you?
I'll tell you one that's a 100% hit rate.
Cryfest.
Cryfest.
What is it?
I think for everybody. Definitely for me every time I watch Coco.
Oh, it's that'll get you. That'll get you.
Yeah, the end crushes me.
For me, it's The Color Purple. I said Whitney Houston, but no, it's Oprah Winfrey. The Oprah Winfrey version. I know it's an old movie. That was the first movie I ever cried at. I remember being like, oh, I'm crying to this. It was such a sad movie.
Do you remember your first cry movie, Kyle?
I don't, Brian. You were asking me to tap real deep into my well of emotions, and I do not.
Tap away.
I'm trying to tap away, Brian, but I don't know what it is.
What was it?
Maybe I will after we get through these calls. But I'm with you on Coco, man. The Remember Me scene with this great grandmother.
Oh, it's so
my
sad.
God.
It's like the whole thing just builds,
perfect.
and then boom,
Perfect every time.
down goes the dam.
With that, first up, Tristan. Tristan, good morning. Welcome. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah. What is that go-to cry movie for you where you're like, man, this scene gets me every time?
You guys being Indiana boys, it's got to be Rudy.
Love.
So we've seen that movie a lot, of course, because it's about the Fighting Irish football team. But what scene in particular gets you, Tristan?
The scene that gets me is when he gets in. When he gets into Notre Dame. When he's like when he gets the envelope and it's the last envelope. Basically, that's like, this has to let me in or not. I'm not going to get to Notre Dame. And every time he opens it, like, it gets me every time. It just reminds me of, like, every time I've had, like, a tough job search or, like, I wanted something really, really bad.
Yes.
I'll, like, go back to that scene and I'm like, wait a minute. I fought for this just as hard as he did. And then it's like, it comes true and you're just like, okay. Like, that scene always gets me.
I love it. And I love that you have a life story that you connect to it. Tristan.
That just gave me, you describing that literally gave me chills.
I know, same.
Down my neck.
Same.
I freaking love that movie. I love that scene, and his dad, who works at the factory, is so freaking proud of his son because he worked so hard. That's wholesome. That's some good Midwestern
Tristan,
flavor.
Yeah. You just gave two grown men goosebumps on this Wednesday. Thank you for that.
Rudy!
Bye, Tristan.
Bye, Tristan.
Bye.
That is a great movie. I've not seen that in a while. With that, it's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix. We have Megan with us right now. Good morning, Megan. Is there a movie that you watch and every time there's that scene that comes on, you're like, oh, man, this gets me. What is it for you?
A Walk to Remember.
Is that
Mandy Moore and Shane West. It's based on a Nicholas Sparks novel, and the end gets me every single time. And then it ends with Mandy Moore singing a song about crying, and I'm done.
You're already crying, and then here comes the song about crying, and you're like, what is happening to my body and my emotions? Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen that movie several times.
I've seen it once. Doesn't Mandy Moore play a Quaker or something?
No, this is very religious.
That is hilarious. Thank you for saying that.
I can't remember what it is, though.
I said the exact same thing last time. He said a Quaker the last two times.
What is it, though?
No, that's kind of, honestly, that's not what you're saying anymore, I don't think. I think it's
you can't
just...
say Quaker?
I don't know.
They make oats.
You can say Quaker.
Anyway, a very religious person. She's very religious. She gets cancer, and that's, of course, the ending doesn't work out for her. Megan, thank you for calling.
Well, that's a way of putting it.
Well,
was she a Quaker?
I'm sorry. The Quaker dies, okay, for those.
Well, she's also a teenager. That's like the other important part is that she's like 17 and she gets married and dies.
Oh, that's sad.
It's so sad.
Thank you, Megan, for calling. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah. Sorry if I ruined the ending for anybody who's not singing Walk to
I will
Remember.
never watch that movie. It's way too sad.
Okay, with that, Brian's dying over there. Are you okay, Brian? Nope. All right, coming up.
Spark noted the film. The Quaker dies.
The Quaker dies in the end. Doesn't work out for her. Bad Friday.
But is she a Quaker?
If you ever need anybody to put things into perspective for you, I'm here, guys.
It's ChatGPT.